If the first thing you do in the morning is eat a live frog, you can get through the rest of the day knowing that the worst is behind you. It's a quote from Mark Twain that I've grown pretty fond of. And as a procrastinator, I can say the first thing I do every day is not eat a frog. What is the frog? Well, that's the task we find most daunting, the one we put off to the very end. Maybe a slideshow presentation you have no idea what you're going to do. Let's talk about something easier to digest. This is my food. I get to make art on a plate. I love the facial expressions on guests when they get a plate and they don't know where to start. They spin their plate, they hover their fork above the food, not knowing that they can just dive in. It's a lot like life, a lot like the tasks in front of us. Let me back up. My name is Kyle. Ever since I can remember, I've had my head buried in notebooks, writing away, avoiding the problems of the real world. Maybe an argument from the family or frustrations with a girlfriend. Either way, this was my outlet. It's better than punching holes in the wall or screaming into a pillow. This is what I do. I fill up notebooks with anything that comes to mind. I love telling stories. One of my favorite stories has got to be Stand By Me. Group of kids go and find a dead body. It's a great movie. You should go rent it right now if you haven't seen it. Anyways, everyone always wanted to be Chris Chambers, leader of the gang. Not me. I wanted to be like Gordy. I related to him a lot more. He was a writer.
Fuck writing. I don't want to be a writer. It's stupid. It's a stupid waste of time.
I found that quote to be pretty appropriate to how I feel about writing from time to time. That's why I don't want to just write. I want to create. Create what? Plots, storyboards, mission statements for businesses. I have hundreds of pens that I keep in a drawer for when ideas like those come to mind. Nothing's worse than not being able to write down an idea that you have at the time. But I figured out pretty quickly that my best bet would be to start typing. And so that's what I did. I started typing my own poems, blog entries, short stories, materials for open mic nights. Anything that I had come to mind I would type up, print out, and give to friends, maybe read it to a crowd myself. Nothing at this point had been done professionally nor commissioned. But that's okay. Comedy and tragedy are aspects of life that we all have to deal with. There's nothing worse than figuring out what you want to be in this world to find out that the odds are completely stacked against you. I say I want to be a writer, and then I find out that there's 130 million books published in the world. Gee, thanks for the info. But that's okay. I don't want to be another fish in the sea. I also don't want to just write books. Of course, writing novels is a great profession. I love books. But everything deserves a good story. From video games to songwriting, television series, magazines, poetry, movies, playwrights. All of these should have a beginning, middle, and most likely a happy ending. And from here, with all of this knowledge, I decided to take up my education more seriously at Full Sail University, creative writing and entertainment to be exact. Here's where I learned the skills it takes to be a professional writer. And now, I have the confidence knowing that I can help you. Writer's block doesn't exist in my world. Those are starting blocks. How do you want your story to end? Just ask yourself that. Maybe one day we can sit down and talk about it, grab a bite to eat, and figure out how we want both of our stories to end. But I don't want to start with a frog. Maybe dive into something like this grilled swordfish. That looks delicious.
Sipping on that brown stuff. Got you feeling like you found love. Or maybe it was just luck.